Ever since 11 burst out of Hawkins' lab, we've known she's different. Strange powers, secret experiments, and people who remember things they shouldn't. But is she actually a clone? Today we're digging through every clue across the seasons to see if Season 5 could reveal 11 was made, not born. Starting with the first time the lab lied to us. From the very first episode, Stranger Things made Hawkins' lab feel less like a research center and more like a breeding ground for secrets. Kids in hospital gowns, cameras in every corner, and Dr. Martin Brenner walking the halls like a proud father, and a prison warden rolled into one. For years, fans thought the lab's goal was simple: to harness psychic powers through MKUltra-style experiments. But if you look closer, Brenner's obsession wasn't about power. It was about replication, the ability to reproduce something extraordinary. 11 wasn't the first child, and she wasn't the last. We've seen others, 8, 2, 3, 10, but where did the numbers start, and where did they end? If these kids were born with powers, how could there be so many? But if they were made, suddenly everything fits. Brenner didn't find 11. He built her. Let's rewind to Terry Ives, the woman Stranger Things calls 11's biological mother. She volunteered for MKUltra experiments while pregnant. LSD, sensory deprivation, extreme light and sound. But what if that pregnancy wasn't as simple as it seemed? Terry claimed she gave birth to a girl named Jane, and that Brenner stole her baby. But what if that baby wasn't hers, at least not entirely? What if Brenner used her pregnancy as a cover for a cloning experiment, growing multiple embryos from the same genetic source, altering each one to test how far human consciousness could stretch? It would explain why all the children looked so similar. Pale skin, dark eyes, same faces, almost like siblings. To Brenner, they weren't kids. They were models. When 11 escapes, he doesn't shout, "Find Jane!" He says, "Bring her back." Cold, mechanical, like someone retrieving stolen property, not a missing child. And when 11 flips a van with her mind, Brenner isn't shocked. He's satisfied. That's not all. That's a scientist watching a machine perform as designed. So if 11 was engineered, the question becomes why? Cloning in Stranger Things isn't about growing full adults in tanks. It's subtler. Brenner began with memory, not muscle. From the Season 4 flashbacks, we see the lab testing memory transfer, forcing children to relive others' experiences inside the void. That's not training psychic powers. That's copying consciousness. In the 1970s, MKUltra already explored splitting the mind, even transferring thoughts between subjects. Brenner took that research and tried to replicate a psychic mind. Maybe 11 was the first version that worked. She doesn't learn her powers. She knows them. It's instinctive. Like someone who's had information downloaded before birth. That fits cloning perfectly. Memories pre-wired into neurons. Every numbered child shows the same signs. Nosebleeds, visions, telepathic links to the upside down. Not coincidence, programming. Brenner treated them like iterations. When one failed, he replaced it. When 11 ran, he rebooted the system. And what about 1? The missing original. Henry Creel, the boy who became Vecna, was Brenner's first subject. He had real psychic power, but he turned violent. So Brenner tried to copy him, to create safer, obedient versions, meaning 11 might literally be a clone of Henry Creel. They share the same link to the upside down. Both can open gates. And when Vecna calls 11 sister, it's not poetic, it's literal. Brenner used Henry's cells to build a controllable duplicate. 11, the perfect model, her powers? Inherited. Her memory loss, a side effect. Her bond with Vecna? Genetic resonance. Every time she feels him, she's recognizing herself. Mirrors in the show. The cabin mirror, the sensory tank, the void, all hint at duplication. Reflection after reflection. Visual foreshadowing that 11 is seeing copies of herself across realities. And that number, 11. It's not random. 1 through 10 were failed versions. 11 is the first success. Version 11, the one that lived. Now rewatch Stranger Things with this in mind, and the clues are everywhere. In Season 1, 11 behaves like someone experiencing life for the first time. Not just traumatized, brand new touch, food, music, all feel unfamiliar. And when she touches the TV's static, it's like she's trying to remember. A sensory echo from another life. Her constant nosebleeds? Not just strain, genetic instability. A clone's body fighting itself. That's why Brenner monitored her health so closely. In Season 2, 11 searches for her mother. But notice, no DNA test ever confirms the link. Brenner could have implanted false memories in Terry Ives, covering up the cloning project. Kaylee, or 8, has different powers. Illusion instead of telekinesis. That's a genetic variation, a mutated prototype. In Season 3, the Mind Flayer literally clones people into organic replicas, a visual metaphor for what Hawkins' lab had done all along. And in Season 4, when 11 loses her powers, it's like a system shutdown. Her neural pathways deactivated. Brenner doesn't train her again. He reboots her. The files labeled with pattern recognition and neurological mapping confirm it. She's not a patient. She's data. Even Vecna confirms it when he says 11 was made to be great. He knows because he was the blueprint. When they clash, their powers mirror each other perfectly, like two identical frequencies colliding. Two halves of one original mind. If 11 is a clone of Henry Creel, then Season 5 isn't just a battle. It's a reunion. Vecna wants to rebuild the world through control, the same dream Brenner had. They're both following the same design. And 11? She's what happens when creation rebels against its creator. Imagine her discovering hidden footage. Tanks of identical children, embryos, all versions of herself. That realization would destroy her sense of identity, her memories, her name, even her humanity, all suddenly in question. She's not fighting Vecna. She's fighting the truth of her existence, and maybe there's more. What if Brenner made others, dormant clones, waiting? Season 5 could reveal a second 11, a perfect one, the obedient version Brenner always wanted. Two 11s, one born from love, one built for control, facing each other in the final battle, mirror against mirror. That's the emotional core of Stranger Things. Identity, choice, humanity. If Brenner copied Henry's DNA, then 11 isn't just linked to the Upside Down. She is the link. She's the living key to that world. Destroy her. The gate collapses. Embrace her full potential. And she could become its god. Her final choice? Destroy the system that made her, or become it. If Stranger Things ends this way, it would complete the story that began in Season 1. The girl who escaped the lab, finally confronting what the lab made her into. In the first scene, she walks barefoot through a cold, sterile hallway. By Season 4's end, she's in the ruins of Hawkins, surrounded by color, chaos, and emotion. From experiment to human. If she is a clone, then Season 5 isn't about saving the world. It's about proving she deserves to exist in it. Maybe Brenner's final files reveal hundreds of failed versions before her, each dying in test tubes or collapsing in trials, and 11 realizes she didn't survive because she was strong. She survived because she was loved, because Mike, Hopper, and her friends gave her something science never could, purpose. That's the true heart of Stranger Things. Science made her, but humanity saved her. So maybe 11 isn't a clone in the technical sense, but spiritually, yes. She's proof of what happens when humans try to play God, and how love can undo it all. Because Stranger Things has never been about monsters. It's been about the people they were meant to replace. So when Season 5 comes and 11 faces Vecna one last time, remember this: she's not just facing a villain, she's facing her reflection. And this time, the mirror's gonna break.